Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to really get into complex ideas, pull out the key stuff from different sources, and give you that knowledge, well, efficiently.
hmm
Today, we're tackling Neville Goddard's 1949 book, Out of This World. It's quite a thought-provoking one.
It really is. It dives straight into this concept of, well, a fourth dimension.
Right, and
Right.
how that impacts our lives. Listeners asked about understanding complex ideas without feeling overwhelmed, and this definitely fits.
Absolutely.
So our mission today is to pull out Goddard's most, let's say, potent insights, maybe some surprising ones too, about reality perception and influencing the future.
Yeah, and right off the bat, Goddard hits you with this alternative view. He's suggesting events aren't just popping up randomly in 3D space.
Okay.
He proposes they're actually observed, kind of previewed in this fourth dimension
Yeah.
before they happen here. It hints at some kind of plan.
Whoa. Okay, that's the first thing that jumped out at me too. A plan? So are we just puppets then? What about choice?
Exactly the question. But Goddard's take is interesting. He suggests, yes, a future is prepared, but it's not like one fixed road.
Ah, okay.
It's more like multiple potential outcomes exist simultaneously. And we, consciously or maybe unconsciously, select the one we experience.
Okay, so how does that selection process? How does it work? He talks about different ways we focus, doesn't he? Our attention.
He does, yeah. He makes a key distinction. There's our everyday natural focus, guided by our senses, what we see, hear, touch.
Standard stuff.
Right. But then there's the spiritual focus. This is more about our controlled imagination, what we choose to focus on internally, driven by desire.
So moving beyond just reacting to the outside world.
Precisely. Actively engaging that inner world. And this is where it gets really, mind-bending.
Huh.
From this spiritual viewpoint, Goddard says past and future aren't really separate. They're part of a single, unified, present whole.
A present whole. That's a perspective shift, all right. Could unlock quite a bit.
And the key to getting there is developing this ability to, as he puts it, see the invisible.
See the invisible.
It means deliberately pulling your mind away from just the sensory evidence, focusing instead on a desired state, something you can't see yet,
So you mentally experience it, sense it?
until it feels just as real, just as tangible as anything you can physically touch or see right now.
Sounds like intense concentration. He says when you really focus, other sensations kind of fade out, right?
Exactly.
Uh.
So if you concentrate intensely on the outcome you want, you start to see it, perceive it in this other dimension.
Okay, let's talk desire then, because that seems absolutely central to his whole framework. It's not just a casual wish, is it?
Not at all. He calls desire the mainspring of action, the core driver behind everything we do.
The mainspring.
He even suggests it's how our, let's call it spiritual self, communicates with our everyday natural self. Acknowledging those deep desires is crucial.
So they're not just random wants, they're pointing towards something.
Towards pre-existing possibilities, yes. Possibilities we can tap into using focused imagination.
Obedience to desire as an immediate assumption of the wish fulfilled. That line really stood out.
It's powerful, isn't it? And he connects it to Pascal's idea. You would not have sought me had you not already found me.
Implying the desire itself means the thing is already possible somehow.
That's the idea. And Goddard builds on that. He says when you assume the feeling, that's key, the feeling of your wish being real right now,
Yeah.
then your four-dimensional self, this deeper aspect of you, starts figuring out the how. It finds the pathways to make it happen in 3D.
So it's not just thinking about it, but feeling from it, embodying it imaginatively.
Precisely.
Okay, practically speaking then, how do we use imagination to, well, actually change things?
He's given a technique, right?
He does lay out a method. Step 1, be crystal clear on your objective. Know exactly what you want.
Make sense?
Then you construct a short mental event and action that implies your wish is already fulfilled, something you'd naturally do after getting it. Like his promotion example, imagining shaking your boss's hand in congratulations.
Exactly. So once you have that scene, that short action,
What's next?
next, you get physically still. Relax your body, aiming for that state just before sleep. Drowsy, but still aware and in control of your thoughts.
That floaty state. Okay.
Then you focus entirely on that short imagined action. And here's the crucial bit. You mentally feel yourself into it. Experience it now.
He really hammers on the feeling part, doesn't he?
Immensely. It's not just visualizing it like watching TV.
Right.
It's feeling the sensations as if it's happening to you. Feeling the handshake, the texture, the pressure.
He contrasts that with just seeing yourself on a screen.
Yes, feeling yourself in action here and now versus just visualizing yourself in action. That internal sensation is supposedly what makes it work.
And keep it short and focused. Repeat it.
Yes, repeat that single condensed act until it feels real, until it takes on the tones of reality. This helps stop the mind wandering off.
Right. He also mentions just repeating a short phrase like thank you in that relaxed state.
Anything that implies fulfillment. It's about saturating your consciousness with the feeling of the wish fulfilled.
And the core promise is if you do this consistently, feel it as real in imagination.
You will eventually meet it in the flesh. Those persistently held assumptions, the ones that feel real internally, they harden into facts.
Will harden into facts.
They start to subtly guide your behavior, influence circumstances, pulling that reality towards you.
Okay, that leads right into his next big point then. Assumptions becoming facts. Sounds bold. How does he explain that?
Well, he starts by saying the outside world seems so fixed and solid, mainly because we haven't really learned to use our inner imaginative focus to see beyond the surface.
So our attention keeps it looking solid.
Kind of. He suggests that if you just withdraw your attention from the objective world, its hold on your awareness fades, and he flips that. To make something unseen, your desire become an objective fact, you focus your attention on it. Concentrate until it feels just as real as the chair you're sitting on.
When the inner feeling gets that real.
It gains the power to manifest outwardly. That's the claim. Like tuning into a faint radio signal until it's clear.
He even suggests staring at a plain wall or something if focusing while drowsy is tough, as an anchor.
Yeah, as a technique to help steady the mind and direct attention inward to the imaginative act. And he mentions that feeling of returning from a great distance after deep meditation like this.
Which highlights that shift in focus from outer to inner.
Exactly. And he stresses being loyal to that inner vision, even when everything your senses tell you screams the opposite. Consciousness, for him, is the ultimate reality.
Holding that mental attitude confirms its reality, eventually.
That's the idea, affirming its eventual appearance.
And this isn't just about getting stuff, is it? He applies it to our self-image, even how we see others.
Absolutely. Define your ideal self, he says. Then assume the feeling of being that person right now.
Feel it as currently true.
Yes. And live from that conviction. He notes that if you really shift your self-concept, you'll notice changes even in your internal conversations, how you imagine others reacting to you.
That's an interesting feedback mechanism.
And he extends it outwards. If you want something good for someone else, you imagine them as already having it, already being that way. See their fulfillment, not their current lack.
Looking past the current situation.
And he brings back that idea of a predetermined future, but uses a different analogy. A printed page.
Right, we read it sequentially.
But he says, just like words can be rearranged, our dreams show how our minds constantly reshuffle sensory impressions from past and future. Dreams are like uncontrolled four-dimensional thinking.
That dream example he gave was wild. The package, the hostess, the elevator guy, all jumbled up and then appearing rearranged the next day.
That's a striking anecdote, isn't it? It illustrates how the mind works with these sensory bits.
So the idea is, if dreams do it randomly,
we can learn to do it consciously. By directing our attention in this four-dimensional world, through the waking dream, that focused imaginative state, we can start arranging the circumstances we want in 3D.
So those steps again, define, create the scene, feel yourself into it.
That's the foundation he keeps coming back to for changing the future. It sets the stage for understanding the sheer power he assigns to imagination itself.
Right. So having covered the how, let's really get into his claims about imagination basically being reality. This next part makes some pretty strong statements.
It really does. He starts by questioning the idea that truth must match external facts. He says, the truth need not conform to the external reality to which it relates.
That's a challenging idea.
And he warns against using imagination negatively towards others. Calls it false witness, unless it's aimed at their liberation, their fulfilled desire. True judgment, for him, is assuming the best for them.
He gets personal here, too, talking about his own schooling in imagination, spending time vividly imagining things until they felt real and changed his circumstances.
Yeah, that personal testimony adds weight, doesn't it? It makes it less theoretical.
It does. And then that huge statement, man's imagination is the man himself, and the world as imagination sees it is the real world.
Profound. He says in meditation, imagination becomes this magnetic power drawing desires to us. If you want to see or hear something, you look or listen as if it's already there.
And that act makes it become objective.
That's the claim. He links it to calling things that are not as though they were, But he also gives that crucial warning. Imagination works impartially, good or bad.
So the responsibility is on us to imagine wisely,
L-
lovingly.
Exactly. Focus on the lovely and the good. And he brings back that sleep-like state, calling it the enchanter's wand, that enhances imagination's power.
He even talks about dreams again, saying you can shift from being a passive dreamer to an active controller.
Yeah, by grabbing onto a dream object consciously and willing yourself awake within the dream. He suggests this opens into a dimensionally larger world where assumptions manifest instantly.
Instantly. Unlike the delay here in 3D.
Right, that's the contrast he draws. He quotes scripture about not needing to fight, just standing still, in the context of this inner world where imagination shapes everything.
And the instruction remains the same. Look as though you saw. Listen as though you heard.
Stretch forth your imaginary hand as though you touched, and your assumptions will harden into facts. He knows it sounds like foolishness to the purely logical, sensory-bound mind.
But he argues the goal is to turn our minds back to the real source of power, which the ancients called God, but which he identifies as our own consciousness.
Our fundamental awareness, the I am.
He uses quite a few quotes to back that up, stressing that our self-concept, our answer to who am I, is what dictates our whole experience.
Like let the weak say, I am strong. Your inner declaration doesn't have to match the outside facts initially.
And that's why New Year's resolutions often fail, because they lack that root feeling.
Exactly. They're often just mental assertions without the deep feeling of already being that way. You have to assume the state, feel it, be faithful to it imaginatively.
So this I amness is the bedrock, believing we are that which we desire to be.
That's the key. He presents imagination's power as what makes us masters of our fate, capable of resurrecting desires into living realities, ultimately leading to freedom.
Which brings us to the final section, no one to change but self. This really ties it all together, doesn't it?
It does. It emphasizes that the change we seek outwardly actually starts, and perhaps only starts, within us. The ideal is already potential within.
And he shares another incredible personal story here. That mystical experience at sea, meditating on perfection.
Yes, feeling lifted like fire, hearing he is risen, knowing it meant him, and then seeing that vision of instant healing. It's very powerful imagery.
And his interpretation.
That it came directly from intensely meditating on perfection, causing a temporary union with that state. The message being, outer perfection flows from inner self-transformation.
The outside world is just a mirror reflecting our inner state.
That's his core argument. Our imagination, our feelings, our self-concept, these shape our world. They illuminate it or darken it.
So even people who help or hinder us, they're playing parts dictated by our own inner nature.
That's his view. They are servants of the law that matches outer circumstances to our inner state. Our self-concept frees us or limits us.
So trying to change the outside without changing the inside is futile.
Essentially, yes. As within, so without. Lasting change requires inner change first.
He's arguing for focusing energy on imagining ourselves as we wish to be, more so than just physical effort alone.
Exactly. Using imagination as the primary tool. And when we face difficulties, look within for the cause, because the outer world is just reflecting our current self-concept.
Intense meditation leads to union with the state, which then changes things outwardly.
Yes. He even uses war as an example of how potent emotions rearrange things mentally, though often negatively, leading back to materialism because hate lowers consciousness.
But if we could be as passionate about our ideals...
We could ascend just as easily. Love and hate both transform. We become like what we contemplate.
And his advice for dealing with negativity, don't fight it directly.
No, imagine the positive opposite. Beauty for ashes, joy for mourning. Focus on the desired state, not the undesired one.
Like Philippians, whatsoever things are lovely, think on these things.
Because you become what you focus on. So his ultimate conclusion is stark but empowering. There's no one to change but yourself.
Change your concept of self, and your world must change in harmony with it.
That's the essence of it.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive into Goddard's Add This World, the core takeaway seems to be this immense, almost startling power located within our own thought and imagination.
Yeah, it's not just passive daydreaming. He presents it as the active creative force shaping our reality. The key to change isn't out there, it's in here, in consciousness.
In assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled.
Right, cultivating that inner reality until it manifests.
Which leaves us, and you listening, with a pretty provocative thought, doesn't it?
Definitely. What invisible state, what desired reality could you start focusing on right now? What could you begin to feel as real?
And just imagine what future might unfold if you truly committed to that inner work.
It's a powerful question to ponder.
Absolutely. We really hope this exploration has sparked some thoughts. You might want to check out Out of This World yourself for an even deeper dive. There's always more to uncover.
Always.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.